Alright, here we go. So this is Elite Black Ash Forest. I got my pet with me here. Let's see what I got. So I'm using Heroic Flame inside of Arcanite Sapphire. Now the main reason we do this is because if you're looking at the passive ability at the top here, it has a 60% chance to increase your damage by 35%. And that's for 10 seconds, and of course that says stacking, which makes a huge difference. Stacking, it means everything. Everything has to stack. I see a lot of people using the Phoenix pet, and that damage does not stack, so it's pretty useless. As for my happiness bonus, I'm currently using Heroic Flame for the boss damage and crit damage, as well as obviously the big stats for dex. For my arcane ability, AA, I'm using Heroic Sabra. It's pretty much a go-to for boss damage, crit damage, and a little bit of reflection, not the best. If we're going to be talking a little bit about the Evolution Trainer, it just came out a couple days, yesterday actually, and I messed up. I upgraded my Cryptoreth, because that's my go-to pet usually, with 150 stacking damage, 5% crit damage, and 10% crit. And I realize now that I should have gone haste, because, I mean, if you see there, right after rank 7, it gives the player 10% haste. It's a lot more than 5 single damage. So I can see where 5 single damage would be amazing if you're in PvP, low-level PvP. Cinco was even saying that in the forum, but for endgame, you're going to want to go haste. So don't waste 650 platinum and 40 million gold doing what I did, because it's a huge waste. Now let's kill this boss before I lose all my freaking elixirs here. I always make sure that I have my boss pet out on my bar, otherwise it's a bad time. Where you going, buddy? Jesus, he's running away, huh? Okay, nothing of essence here. So, oh, there's recipe. Nice. Turn these quests in here. Alright, so the next thing I'll go over is just my pet real quick. This is my freaking go-to pet. I mean, if you're reading the passive, he attacks 5 targets in an 8 meter range. Poison seeps through the armor and does damage over a 7-second period. And during that 7-second period and much more after, he reduces target damage by 70%. So on 5 targets, he's reducing the damage you're taking by 70%. For the happiness bonus, I'm using Heroic Polar. He is just freaking a tank. For the crit damage, the stats, the haste, the armor, I mean the damage, 30% speed, you just can't go wrong. As well as Heroic Anki, however you want to say that. It debuffs armor of some nearby enemies by 75%. It gives them a 50% damage reduction, 100% chance to taunt, 25% crit damage, which is huge, and counterattacks on damage taken. Buff lasts 10 seconds or until 100,000 damage is taken. Now 100,000 is a lot, so that's great to use when you're in Indigo, Elite Indigo. So those are my main pets. I do use a speed pet to get around, a little bit of gold loot. This is just my pet that I like the most, the look wise. But other than that, we will go ahead and go into my gear now, I guess. Now for my gear, I like to have a good balance of everything. Okay. I don't think I have any elixirs on, right? So that's my gear. That's my damage flat out, 32.5k, basically, with chakrams. Now, A lot of people go full dex, and I respect that. I absolutely respect that. And honestly, I'd probably be doing a little bit faster runs if I did have all dex. But with what I do have, I can clear anything no matter what. I mean, Elite Hito, Hetera, it doesn't matter. Leaderboard stuff I can do. What I'm having problems with is movement speed. You need to have a really fast movement speed in order to even come close in leaderboards. So, all right, let's go through my gear awakes here. So as you can see, the chakrams were 3% dex, 2.5% all, I think. Right? 2.5. What? 2%. Okay. As you can see, I use 15% speed on my helm, my Star Beast, and you'll see that a lot here. 17% speed there, 3% all, 1.5% health, and 4% armor. I think that's pretty good balance of defense. Pardon me. 10% boss damage, 2% dex, Star Beast ring, and this is more or less just for raw boss damage and dex, so that's decent. Necklace, 4% dex, and a bunch of useless crit. You do not need crit as a rogue. As you can see, I'm at 119% almost, which is ridiculous. I only need 100%. 18% speed and 3% luck. That's not the worst. That's why I am running pretty fast around everywhere. Now this I'm going to be working on. I really don't like this enchant or this awake. It's not the best. So I'm going to be working on this next event. That is my full damage set. Okay. So when I proc all of this stuff here, I'll swap right to all my damage gear. So I'll use full proc 3 Star Beast. Boom, swap to my damage set. People are like, oh, TH, why don't you have speed set on your damage or your proc set? Well, because I have way too much movement speed as is. You get 100% movement speed buff and a 2-time damage multiplier. I mean, come on. You don't need a speed set. Once you proc your Kraken and all of your stuff, you're running around the map fast. Okay? You don't need it. Let's see. So, in order to be a good rogue and a proc, you have to have all the proc gear. I recommend Frenzy, Rahab's Talisman for Frenzy, because it gives you 5% more damage, speed, and all that good stuff. Obviously, you have to have the claws, because claws just do a great amount of damage for AoE. You're going to want to use claws mainly for clearing up to the boss, and then the chakram for the boss. Some people like to have Kraken Bow for the boss and proc that and then swap chakrams. Honestly, preferable choice. I have no problem with any boss, and I use the claws and then the chakram. Okay. Standard Star Beast for the helm. Let's see, for the chest, you have Kraken. Pretty standard. I don't really like the awakes on here, but honestly, to me, it doesn't matter. I need as much dex as I can get for my Kraken proc, because then I can swap. But honestly, what matters is my dex and gear for the Star Beast damage swap. Belt is only here for mainly just to buff the weapon. I mean, but let's see. It buffs the weapon, you have to have it. I mean, yeah. During the first 4 seconds, it does 50% more damage. 25% damage reduction. And speed. So, and it lasts longer too. So you need the belt. You have to have the belt in your proc set. So weapon, belt, chest, artifact, and immortal. And then of course I use my 3-piece Star Beast. Okay. For my run speed set, and I am, as we speak, crafting this stuff, the Zodius 3-piece, so I can work on that and just get a little bit faster. But right now I'm at like 4.34 speed, so I feel great. It feels good. So I use the Insidious set, which is the level 81 set, I believe. It used to be, or level 80 set. It used to be good when I had it back in the day. Flamethrower is better now, so I'm gonna have to work on that. So we got that. I also have the Secret Slayer belt with a little bit of movement speed because it gives that extra 15 plus that 17, so that's great. 32 extra. And then of course you got to have the Momentum bracelet, which gives 20% plus that 19. That's freaking, what, 39%, almost 40% speed right there. So that with the 30% from the this set bonus here, and I'll probably be at like 4.65 movement speed, which would be pretty fast. I mean, for the most part, I'm getting around pretty quickly, which means a lot when it comes to leaderboard stuff. I mean, you really have to make sure that you're getting around fast. All of these people up on the top run fast. That's all there is to it. That's the only reason they're really winning the leaderboards. It's just, that's the way it goes. So hopefully this helps for some people. I'm not going to go through stats. Stats are pretty simple. I mean, you're putting everything into dexterity as a rogue. If you do anything other than that, then you're going to have a bad time. And as far as skills go, I use different things for different different setups for different things, like bosses, elite, indigo. This is my go-to set though. Spec right here. I mean, you can never go wrong with Razor Shield. It's going to give you 15% movement speed here, 10% extra damage. People sleep on Razor Shield so much, but you're getting 15 MS and 10% extra damage flat out when you have that on. Also, 10% reduced damage taken when you have it up. So people are sleeping on Razor Shield a lot. Passives, you can take a look at that. I'm not going to go through them very well. Pretty much just all the stats, movement, speed, and haste. That's about it. Skills, as you can see, I used dash, aim shot, and noxious bolt. When you're using these things, they all come on cooldown pretty quickly, so you're able to spam pretty much everything you need to, and it will come back off cooldown. Whoops. So it's, especially with more haste, like as you can see with more haste, it's pretty OP. See if I can demonstrate it real quick. The second I proc, I guess it's insane. Let's go this way because people are over there. Alright, so I look slow. There's the movement speed increase, and there I go. That's all it takes right there. And the second my Kraken proc's gone, I go right back to my Kraken daggers, my proc set. Once I got the spinning dagger thing up, I swap back to my chakram. Easy as that. Okay, you don't want to be procking too close to the boss like I just did. And these people really aren't finishing this. What? Alright, buddy. Okay, well that was a fast run, but look at that movement speed. My game can't even handle it. That's how fast I'm running. Yeah. Alright, that's enough. So hopefully that helps a couple people with what they're doing. I'll get some more videos out there explaining on how to properly set up your hot bars, whatever else people might need. I do change my hot bars around with my pets and stuff, but for the most part, these three things stay the same. The bottom right hot bar, the one I'm on right now, is my daggers, so that's going to stick on my daggers there. My proc setup, once I proc, I'm going to hit my damage, boom, right to my chakrams. and this is my run. This is my run speed. So when I swap to that, I'm just running around pretty fast, and that's all there is to it. Hopefully you guys, hopefully this helps. Have a good one.